to do something different, new, and exciting. And that is, I'm going to be starting a series where I look at every gold making method in ESO and grade it. So today we're going to be looking at a method that was kind of brought to my attention. I tested it last week because I wanted to see if the profits would kind of be made throughout the week, what the profit margins look like, the skill levels involved. So me and my three friends have all done this method, and I'm going to explain it to you, and we're going to get right into it. So you're probably wondering why I'm in Deshaun to start off, because you've seen the title as a Psijic Satchel, so you figure we're reading our TAM. But we need to do some pregame. So this is going to be the pregame section of these videos. We're going to be looking at what's important, what you need to do this. So all you need is the Somerset DLC. You need to fast travel over to our TAM, and you'll need bait. And there's two other things that I'm going to recommend. So you're going to need worms. I've already got the save searches, so we're going to need this Artaeum fishbowl here. So we're going to need some of these, and we're going to need some worms. So you can see the costs here. We'll deduct those from the end, and when we get kind of into the method, we'll talk about the costs and deductions and the profit method here. So once you have these items, actually I'm going to grab a pickled fishbowl here, show you the cost of them here. Generally they sell in about stacks of one, you can buy them. So that's what we're going to be looking at, and we'll just grab these. They've been listed up. We'll grab them, fast travel over to our TAM, and get on into it. So there's two good reasons why this is a really good method. One, it doesn't require you to be CP 160 or higher, which most things will. It generally doesn't require a lot of skill. It's more patience based, and it's more, it's just easier to get into. It's something you can kind of do passively, especially if you're doing it during the week and there's not half a dozen different people here. So while it's loading, let's talk a little bit about why this is a good method too. Explain a little bit why people do this, why it's valuable. So basically, we're getting two things. Fish, which will have a chance to get perfect row, and then we have the ability to get Psijic Satchels. Why are Psijic Satchels important? Well, because there's two recipes that drop, and I'll put them on screen now. These two recipes can only be gained by fishing. Now, a lot of methods you'll see when I talk about them in the future, the ones that have the highest profit margins are generally the ones that people like to avoid doing. So most ESO players don't like to fish. So the best way to make some money is to fill that void in the market by fishing for them. So we're in our TAM. It's just a big old island. There's two sides. You have this side here and this side here. We just go up and down the beach looking for a fishing hole real quick, which I am not seeing, although I am a little blind. And we'll pull the recipe out, so this recipe, what this does, why we purchased it, is it actually makes more fish drawn to us, and it makes it faster to fish. So you see a fishing hole up here. Thankfully I wasn't blind and missed it on my first live take of this. So select your bait and get to fishing. So I'm going to put some numbers on screen now. My three friends, we've all done this. Here are the profit margins that they all made. It's very important though, and let's start talking about the three sections for how I'm going to grade this. So I'm going to be grading every single new ESO gold making on three criteria: profit, reliability, and market stability. So let's talk about profit. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. Why is it so good? And this should also clarify, this is its profit right now in its current time. So if you were to do this today, this is what the profit margin would look like. I cannot promise you that this will stay around, but that's what we're going to talk about in market stability. Also, what's important as to why it's not rated higher, because we were making a lot of gold per hour. I ended up, I think I did this for 2 hours. I think I made around 256K. I'll put the number on screen here. But I also am using a Deshaun trader versus one of my other friends who did this and was testing to see if they would sell inside a Glenumbra trader, and his have sold at a much slower rate. It took 3 days for mine to sell at 15K each. Still a healthy profit margin, especially because your expense list is real low. But what we'll do is we'll add that to our total expenses. We'll take the 10K per week dues that I pay to be in Deshaun. We'll take the cost of the bait, and then we'll take the cost of the Artaeum fish bowls out. But we're still looking at about a 4 out of 5 star profitability. Reliability, I'm putting this at a 3 out of 5 star for reliability. It's not a super reliable method in that there's no guarantee that you get Sigic Satchels. I got 10 in 2 hours, so 5 1 hour, 5 the next. My friend did it for an hour and he got 3. My other friend got 6. It's a little bit unreliable in that regard, but it also has a little bit of extra reliability, extra chance, because you also skin the fish. When you skin the fish, you have a chance to get perfect roe, so that kind of adds to the market too of what you can make. I did this for 2 hours, I got 3 perfect roe, so you can see on my total deductions at the end. I'll do everyone's kind of profit margin so you can look at when I edit the video, and you'll see everyone's margins of profit. And then market stability. So here's where it gets a little worse. So this is only a 2 out of 5 for market stability, and I'll tell you why. And that's because the market does not have that many endgame players that are looking to constantly buy this. If we all went out and did this one day, the market on Sigic Satchels would plummet. Only things like perfect roes would stay valuable. Perfect roes will always maintain their value, but things like recipes, Witch Sugar Skulls is a good example of this, comes out in Halloween. It is worth like $25K to purchase during the Halloween event. And then right now in January, it's worth about $50K. As you get closer to August, it's worth about $125K, but then its price drops back down again. So you really need an influx of players using this, and as you can see, there's a bit of market variability with these 2 recipes that are given. I'll put those 2 recipes back on screen so you can see them again. This is the only way to get them, so a lot of players will attempt to do this, but there's not a whole lot of people actively seeking it out. But again, thankfully, because most of them are 810, they have a lot of money. In fact, I bought this method because I wanted to use the recipe. I actually bought this skip, and then I thought to myself, well, if I'm buying these Sigic Satchels, I bet you other people are, and that's when I had kind of done some research and looked into it. So that brings us to where we are now. Other than that, here you can see we have 4 out of 5 stars for profit, 3 out of 5 stars for reliability, 2 out of 5 stars for market stability. I'll again put everyone's profits that they made on screen so you can see exactly how much money was made. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next gold making video. We're actually going to talk about scrying, the 2 best ways to make money scrying, and then see what we can do in the next one after that. All right, guys. Peace.